Hi everybody, I'm Tim from troutandfeather.com, and in this video we're going to talk about fly tying gadgets. Stay tuned. When I think about my fly tying mentors, they have a lot of stuff in common. For example, the majority of them tie just excellent flies and they have a great sense of proportionality. They're very resourceful. There's not a lot of stuff that leaves their little fly tying benches. They really just have a great sense of creativity. And finally, they love their fly tying gadgets. And boy, do I love them too. Now, whenever I think about fly tying gadgets, there's really two paths we can take. We can first go down that one avenue in which we have these fly tying tools that are marketed for fly tying. And then we have this other path that includes all these items and things that we look at and we say, gosh, this may not say fly tying on it, but I know it's going to fit perfectly on my bench. Now, whenever I first came up with this idea to start going over some of the gadgets I use, I lined them up and I was trying to kind of order them from most used to least used, and then I realized I had way too many. So instead, during these videos, I'm just going to share one gadget occasionally on my YouTube channel. And for starters, I'm going to talk about a gadget that I got from my Uncle John, who's been featured on my channel in the past. I was in my Uncle John's fly tying room and we were talking about some various flies, and he was tying something for me, and all of a sudden he kind of shifted and a couple hooks fell onto the floor. And I said, "Don't worry, Uncle John, I got it." And when I went to get down, he said, "No, Tim, I have it." And he picked up this little device, this little wand, and he leaned down, and about 3 seconds later, he had all of those hooks stuck to it. It was magnetic. And I said to him, "That's a really neat little thing you got there. Where'd you buy that?" And he said, "Oh, Tim, don't worry about it. I got it from your Aunt Marge. I'll grab you one." He ran upstairs, and I then had my pink fly tying hook magnetic grabber. Now, to tell you a little bit more about this, it's obviously not marketed to fly tyers. There are some out there that are definitely made specifically for fly tying, but I don't have one of those. I got this one instead. And if you'd like to purchase something like this, just go onto the internet and do a search for magnetic bingo wand, because apparently that's what these are used for. I'm not a bingo player. I haven't played for years, since I was in school. But apparently in some of these bingo halls, they have these magnetic chips, and as they're playing, they have to really clean them up quickly, and they'll take their magnetic wand and they'll wave them over the chips. All the chips will just instantly stick to it. They'll clear them off and they'll be ready to play the next game. But from a fly tying perspective, this is something that I just love to have at my desk. Now, the obvious one is if you drop a hook or if you drop something that's magnetic to the ground, you can quickly lean down, just wave it around, and it's going to stick to it. But I love to also just have this sitting at my bench, and as I'm tying, sometimes I'll just finish a fly and take a peek at it, make sure everything looks right, take it out of my vise, and just stick it immediately to this magnet. Then I have them all waiting right here to be placed into my fly box. There's a lot of other things that you can do with this. Trust me, I can't tell you how many different ways I've utilized it. And because it's a magnet and I have a spot that's metal right by my bench, I simply stick it there and I know where it's going to be waiting for me the next time. So this is just one of those gadgets that I absolutely love. It's very inexpensive. Whenever I did a Google search, they came up anywhere between $2 and $6, somewhere in that range. And for this one, it says right on it, it's the Mega Wand. It was made in the USA. There's a magnet in this portion, and what I really like about that is you can grab a lot of hooks. You're not just going to grab one spot, but you can grab hooks all over the place. And I've unfortunately dropped a lot of hooks once, and it was nice to just quickly lean down and pick them up with this, and they were just all over it, which is a really great thing. I've seen some other magnetic grabbers, some of those that have extensions, and they just have a small base at the top that are used to grab, whereas this one will just pick them up the whole way around. So this is definitely something I'd encourage you to look into if you don't already have one at your fly tying bench, because I'm sure many of you are probably into gadgets just like me. Well, with that said, I'm going to wrap up this fly tying video on gadgets. And if there's any other gadgets that you really just believe they're vital to your fly tying bench, I'd love to hear more about them in the comments section below. This is obviously one of mine, and I'll be sharing more of mine in the future. If you'd like to find more videos like this one, you can check out my website, which is troutandfeather.com. And on my website, if you want to see more of these gadget and tools types of videos, if you click on fly tying videos, and then you go down, and I have a special page that's called Techniques, Tools, and Materials. And if you click on that, you'll find other tools and hopefully some gadgets in the future that you will also find very important at your fly tying bench. If you're into social media, Trout and Feather has a Facebook and an Instagram page, and I would definitely encourage you to check those out. If you have any questions or comments for me, as always, you can email me at tcammisa@gmail.com, or you can leave them down below. Thank you, everybody, and I can't wait to hear from you about some of your favorite gadgets. I'll see you next time.